And it's time, my dear friends. Welcome to the Red Pill. Talking with Morpheus about trading by the book without a trick, but based on logic, math, statistics. Everything that we discuss for your financial independence, for you to understand what governs this system, what kind of rules are in effect, and how within the kind of boundaries of these rules we are able to make money. You and I are able to talk one-on-one, so for anybody who is interested to get this independence, get the freedom of choice, which in my opinion is probably the most important thing in life. This is what my happiness revolves around. My choice to stay with my kids today or go and do something on my own with my buddies. My choice to, work from home or have to work for Uncle Sam or well, whatever uncle that you might have. So this is it. This is what gives you the ability from any point of the planet that has internet, you're able to trade in binaries and eke out a future. Now, we've discussed many things, and today is actually I'm super excited about this because we are going to be looking at the NFP, the non-farm payroll. This is something that happens once every first Friday of the month. And you can you can see this at any, economic calendar. So we got the USD non-farm payroll is it. Usually, there we go, in 8 minutes from now, usually this creates a massive spike, about 40 to 60 pips, and it usually follows after with a retracement because 40, 50, 60, maybe sometimes even higher pip movement, it equals, as we've discussed already in the previous videos. I do encourage you to take a peek. Once again, I don't ask anybody to trust me. I show it. I show it with live examples. This is, if you click on the link, on Pocket Option link that's below, you'll be able to see on the platform, on Pocket Option, the same graph. Right? I am not, maybe it's a 2-second delay while this is being streamed to YouTube and Twitch. But the graph is exactly the same. You're going to see exactly at 15:30 or in approximately 7 minutes and 7 seconds from now, a massive spike followed by a retracement. Right? So historically, statistically speaking, that's exactly what we're waiting for. The retracement usually happens in the same minute, but if the statistic is going to be super freaking awesome or super bad, it could carry over to the following minute. Now, as I mentioned in previous videos, we discussed that in Eurodollar and real, in real market and Forex, each pip is equal approximately like 9.50, between $9 and $10, let's say at the moment. And that means that 40 pip movement, we're looking at $400 profit on the standard lot there, right? So if if obviously there's like 660 pip movement, that's $600. So somebody that opens a position, exactly like at 329 for a buy, or in this case to go long or short for a sell, because so far we're looking at the previous month was 177, and it was a bit of a decline from the previous month. Right, so in April it rose, right? 117 was the adjusted number, 137 was the forecast, a little higher, came out much higher. So if we look at April 4th, we actually could see a spike, retracement, and a continuation for quite some time. But anyways, last month it was in May it was significantly lower, right? In terms of the previous month, the forecast was 138, but it came out positive. It's green because it came out bigger than the forecast, right? So it's still lower than the previous month. So the spike retracement, in here probably it resulted in like 1 minute worth of activity, and that's it. So this is an employment statistic, right? Non-farm employment change. How many new jobs were created this month in comparison to the previous month, right? So that's kind of interesting. The more new jobs, the more new salaries, the more people are paying taxes, the more people are spending their salaries, and essentially are growing the economy, right? Expanding the economy when people spend money. Now, chats are up. My peeps, Donald and Henry are in the house. Kind of wish that anybody who sees this right now while scrolling through, if you guys, coming up on this, understand market is not chaos. I am proving it to you today. And both Henry and Donald, they're reached out to me in Telegram. We're talking one-on-one. And we're kind of guiding each one of you investors, so guiding each one of him, Donald and Henry, separately. It's not a group thing. I don't want you to do what I do. I want you to figure out how we can incorporate all of these things into making sure that you are moving ahead in your financial independence. So there's so many things to consider when we build a plan based on your financial capabilities, your psychological fortitude, to resistance to stress, because it is stressful, right? That's why I'm not opening positions, even though my balance allows me to open it for a couple of $100. I'm not going to do that because the following position would have to be even bigger, and that's too much money that I don't want to risk. So anyways, depending on all of this, we can build your plan for you specifically based on logic, math, statistics. We're not, relying on luck at all. So thanks, Henry. Thanks, Donald, for being with me. If anybody's got a question about this, or this or that, I don't know, I'm your guy. Reach out in Telegram and make a comment right now in Twitch or in YouTube. I got the chats open. And anyway, so 2 minutes and 55 seconds from now, we're going to see a reaction to the NFP. Now, here's the interesting part. Now, the best currency pair to choose for this will be USD CAD if Canadian statistics is going to be bad and, United States is going to be good. Right? So it's kind of like a seesaw, right? It's a little, like a catapult. One pushes down while the other one is pushing up. The movement's going to be significantly bigger. But if both of them are bad or both of them are good, they could be canceling each other out. Now, we understand that one of these kids on the seesaw is a little fatter in regards to the size of the economy, right? So United States is the biggest economy in the world. Crazy turnover, we can say that way, versus like 70% of all of the exports from Canada goes to United States. So they're not evenly matched, but they still can filter out each other's data. So this is why when we choose the currency pair, this is kind of like a thought of the day, right? Something that you need to consider. When you choose a currency pair, you want to choose maybe several. When we're talking about like US euro dollar, right? And the Canada has nothing to do with in this case with euro. So euro dollar, if the United States is going to be good or bad, we're going to see a reaction. In Canada, CAD JPY, so separate from United States. Also, if there's going to be good or bad, we're going to see the reaction. But the only time when this is something that would, maybe you want to create or take advantage of a trending move, right? We're going to see a spike retracement, but at that point, we're going to see the updated version of the numbers that are here, right? And when we do, we will see if the numbers are super bad for Canada and super good for United States, what we're going to see is a spike retracement and a possible trend for a while. Right? Not just for a couple of minutes, but maybe for, maybe half an hour or something like that. So anyways, this is something that we need to keep in mind. Actually, we're going to take a look at all of this in, after the spike, after the retracement. And, you know what? Let's see. We could, pending trades, if we could, because in 29 seconds, right, we're looking at this current price, so 1409. So 1413, let's say, 13, let's go, 1413 for a $10 buy, and 1405 for a sell, and we have way too much here. Let's go $50. There's the spike. There's a retracement. Oh, I kind of think I did it a little too soon. Let's go for a retracement. Damn it. For 100. There we go. For a retracement. I think I kind of waited a little bit too long. But a spike, there it is. I mean, we've anticipated a spike. We understand what the heck is going on. And we are closing this for 10 bucks. And because we've created a pending trade, and I'll explain that as soon as this kind of minute is over, right? So a spike followed by a retracement. I kind of goofed it up over here, so we could actually lose 50 if it kind of bumps it up a little bit. But we're going to win 100, right? So we got the indicators showing that it's going to be a downward move based on the amount of quotes and, supply and demand principles. Everybody's buying, selling right now. But it looks like in 1 minute, I'm going to be winning some serious money, right? So there we go, 83. There we go. This, these positions are still open. There we go, 100. So 16 I've won, and there we go, 167. All right, so let's. Good day for Morpheus. All right. All right, and I know Henry and Donald have done this as well. All right. So what we need to understand. All right, what we've done is this was a first we're kind of like, wait, all right, let's start from the beginning. You've seen me go to pending trades to go buy the asset, and I've opened a position, right? So here we see a current quotes for the asset. There it is, right? And we see another number here that we can alter. I know Henry and Donald, they know this by heart now. You can wake them up and ask them, what is the pip in euro dollar? They'll be like, it's the fourth digit after the decimal, right? So in Forex, we're seeing the fourth digit after the decimal, increasing by 1. So if it goes, let's just say it goes like 1.0001, and it grows to 1.0002. Right, that's 1 pip difference. It went up by 1 pip. So the third digit, it's the tens, right? So you go from 0.0010, and it goes to 0.0020. That's 10 pips, right? So we've created a channel. I've opened for a $10 buy and a $10 sell. With approximately like 3, 5, like, I don't know, like around 5 pip difference. I think I was doing 5 pip difference, right? You can, I don't know, watch the video again. We can, take a, you can quote me later, leave it in the comments. But I think I usually do it 3 to 5 pips. So if it was 1403, obviously 5 pips lower would have been 14 or 13.98, right? So 5 pips. So you create a buy and sell. Pending means as soon as it reaches that level. In this case, pending by the asset price. All right. So if the asset is in the middle, you open a little bit higher for a buy, and you open a little bit lower for a sell right before a spike. So see, we don't know which direction it's going to go, up or down, all right? But we understand that there's going to be a big spike. So in this case, what happened though is that it went down, and as soon as it went past this, price, it activated a sell position, and that's why I went into the current and I closed the upward position because it wasn't activated. All right, so what happened though is that it, at somewhere at this level, about 5 pip difference, it went down, it activated a sell position, and it closed lower. Right, it closed lower. So essentially, I've made money. I've made, that was the 10 bucks that we were talking about. This one right here. All right, and then I think I've goofed up over here. Yeah, I was trying to open, so I opened the 50 position for a retracement, somewhere, kind of like here. And then I realized that it was going further still, and I opened I was trying to open for 100, but I opened it for $10. Then I quickly changed it and I opened it for 100 because of knowing that somewhere here this would have been like the max that we could have expected. So afterwards, yeah, for a retracement, and it kind of worked out really good with regards to 50 because it barely, I think 50 was like somewhere here. And yeah, it did close lower, or I'm sorry, higher. So retracement happened on the 50 as well. But even if I lost 50, I would have made, still here I made 67. Here I would have lost 50, and so it would have been like $17 in profit. Now, so this 10 was a goof. It kind of opened it here. I wanted to open for 100, so we kind of ended up opening for 110. Okay, so wait a second. I did mention, actually, remember that yesterday I kind of mentioned this as well. Look, no big spike because OTC, it's us, pocket option traders, looking at technical analysis, opening and closing positions based on tech analysis versus US, real market. There's a fundamental reason why a whole bunch of people opened position for, took advantage of the NFP. Now let's actually take a look. All right, there we go. All right, so where the hell is it? There we go. So we have a kind of interesting thing. We got good news across the board, though not quite. Maybe there, we can actually justify. So we got good news across the board for Canada unemployment claims. It was actually, by point unemployment rate. Um, wait a second. Unemployment rate is it's not really good if the numbers go up, right? So usual effect, actual less than forecast is good for the currency. So it just basically kind of threw me for a loop that it didn't show green or red. So it was, but I guess it's not better or worse than the forecast. So the forecast was in Canada unemployment rate just a little higher, but employment change was actually like maybe staggeringly good. With regards to 7.4K, they predicted a negative, and it was higher than the previous month. So, the employment change, so into a positive, right? If we click here, we see actual greater than forecast is good for the currency, but man, is it good for the, much better because they were predicting a negative, and it came out, significantly higher than the previous month. Though we do see quite big number changes, right? So from 76, let's say thousand, down to 1.1 thousand, right? 1100 or so. So not particularly maybe impressive because of the big negative changes, but that's where you look into history and you see what kind of changes are there. So anyways, let's take a look at something with CAD, right? Canadian dollar, CAD. Oh, all right, there we go. CAD. AUD CAD. Let's take a look at AUD CAD. And yeah, so AUD, because it was good news for Canadian dollar, is essentially it plunged it up, but this is a primary currency. That's why we see as well, right down to the second, there was a spike followed by a retracement, right? Just like in euro dollar. Now, it is interesting that the retracement is like 200+%. This is why, I'm not really certain how to explain this, but I'm not really sure why people would immediately think that this is a bad thing, right? Because we understood that good news for, good thing for the NFP because, yes, 126, a lowering was expected, but it came out of 139, so technically it's good because they were expecting lower, but it's still worse than the previous month. This is maybe the reason why in euro dollar we saw an initial reaction, the correct reaction, whoosh, right? It was down, but then it was still worse than the previous month. So it started, people cashed out here. The statistic was updated in the Forex calendar, and they realized that, hey, yeah, it was better than the forecast, but it's still worse than the previous month, so maybe that's why it went. But if we take a look, 13.85, 13.85, so 85, so 15, we make it 40, 50. So this movement right here is 45 pips. And actually, yeah, I'm a little disappointed, I guess, on the draw downward, right? Because this right here, then, if we're talking about 1407, it's 15 plus 7 is 22 pips, right? So 22 pips, it dropped down. So somebody made $220 on a standard lot. Here, wham, it went down, they made their money, they said, maybe that's good enough for me. They closed it, there was a retracement. But a continuation of the retracement could be tied with the fact that the NFP was, higher last month, right? So there was 17, it went to 137, and it came out 228. Then it was revised, the statistic, as the previous. So usually it's, kind of like 125. So it does go through a bit of a revision, but the previous month statistic, all right, versus, the forecast versus the actual number. This is something that we, could see that this is, even though it's a good statistic, that's why dollar grew in strength, but only shortly, because maybe it was considered, compared with the previous month, and they realized that it wasn't so hot after all. Right, and even though it was kind of mixed here, right, the unemployment rate went up, but employment changed was, kind of like a positive statistic. But because we see big, spikes, big number changes, it's not just like 0.01, right, or 0.1, 0.2 in the differences. We see, essentially dozens of thousands difference. This is something that could be considered also kind of, even though it was good, in this case it was bad. It was bad in this. So even with AUD CAD, we also saw a kind of like a spike here, right, at 1530, right? Actually, I don't even know. So it opened, there was a spike here. It opened here, dropped down, retraced all the way, right? It retraced also like 200%, and then closed a little bit lower. See, actually, if you opened a pending orders, right, pending trade by asset, right, like we did with euro dollar, here it would have opened for a buy, here you would have opened for a sell. So it opened and it went down, right? So it activated one of them, but then it went up and it activated the other. So I don't know. Then if you closed the current one, if you when it went down, if you closed the upper one, you actually would have lost this position, lost money in here. So you got to be careful maybe what kind of currency pairs you choose. But the pending trades by asset is kind of like a valid thing when you're expecting a spike and a retracement, but still, kind of showing you if it spiked green and retraced, right, you still made money on both, on the retracement from the top, that it closes lower, and on the spike, initial spike itself, or, same thing on the way down. If it spikes downward, you want, the red candle to be red. In this case, it was, kind of unusual situation that it spiked down because it was good, kind of news overall for Canada. Maybe we don't really know which one of these two events is more weighty. But then, there was actually maybe this contestant, so mixed statistics. All right, so I don't know. I mean, I'm still, I'm hoping that you guys, see to it to ask me some questions. I've explained how we made money today. Wasn't really a huge percentage, right, with the euro dollar, but it is expected. See, it's higher now. It's 88%. But it is expected that the volatility, historically speaking, this is something that's very repetitive. All right, so it is. You know what? Let's see. Wait a second. Let's see if we can notice this in the previous month. Right, so it was May 2nd. Right, May 2nd. You might have to kind of bear with me, because with 1 minute chart going back a month is going to take forever. So let's at least, maybe take a 10-minute chart. So we still see on a 10-minute chart, remembering, oh wait a second, let's go to euro dollar, right, that it was a positive statistic for the dollar. So it opened, at 1530, it opened here, it went down, and then, at some point it started to retrace. So it opened here, it went as low as here, but then, 5 minutes is 10-minute candle. So you can still see it on a 10-minute scale that there was a downward movement followed by a massive retracement. All right, so if we go back, that's the first week, all right, that's the second week. With 10-minute, that's the fourth week, and I think that, there we go, and there we go. Where's the second? The second one is going to be the previous week. There we go. All right, there it is, right here. All right, so also a massive right on the second. There it is. We can see that this is 1530. So it, there was a massive spike followed by a retracement, and in comparison to the previous candles, this one is absolutely massive. All right, so it once again spiked followed by a retracement. Let's see. I think that we can maybe even go to April 4th, right? So let's go to April 4th. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. So 1 week, 2 week, just with 1 minute candles, this would have taken ages. And April 4th, there we go. And there it is again, right here. I think 1530. Nope, wait. Where's 1530? Well, there it is. All right. So there was maybe several events at that particular time, but 1530, there it is, April 4th, right? Did we get it right? Yeah, April 4th, 2025. All right, so it was a positive statistic, so that's why we see a negative candle, right? There was a spike followed by a retracement. But if we look at this with 1 minute candles, we're actually going to see a very distinctive positioning, because there could have been a spike and a retracement up to like here, but then the following 10 minutes there could have been a whole bunch of activity that diluted this candle. All right, so but there it is. It's once again spike retracement always happens. So it could have been, actually, since it was such a good news for the dollar, there could have been a spike, retracement, and then a continuation every single minute, right, until we got to this leveling here. So just keep in mind that when we look at it at a bigger intervals, we're not really seeing the clearest picture. The event itself usually is finalized within first couple of minutes, right? 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, right? So this is why we're looking at this and a retracement within certain pippage. But when we take a look at a bigger time interval, so all of that happened within the 5 minutes. That's why we're seeing the spike and a massive retracement, and then a kind of continuation downward. Phew. All right. So I don't know. I'm happy, right? I'm happy with the amount of how things turned out. So in approximately 1 minute, we've made. Well, let's not count one of the $10 because I made a goof. All right. So we've made what? $40. 40, a little over $100. So in like 1 minute, one event. So if you are working on first Friday of the month, nobody is going to stop you from going to the bathroom and just whipping out your your phone, right? Whipping out your phone and understanding that the dynamic of what's about to happen. You know exactly right down to the second week. You could have done a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2. Bam! There's a spike. You open for retracement. It goes to the next minute. You go for a slightly higher position. You made money. You go back to work, and everything is cheeky-peeky. All right. So there we go. Today, let's trade a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if I feel kind of that I want to trade a little bit more aggressively for you guys. But, oh, wait a second. I kind of want to prove another point. 1 second. All right, let's go to 1 minute candles, right? So, all right, so if we're looking at 1 minute candle for Canadian statistic, all right, so there was 1530, it opened here, all right, so it spiked down, and then it retraced, and then it retraced again. So let's say the size of this movement in 1 minute. So it went from 8864, right, and the highest point is 8887. So 64, 74, 84, 23 pips, right? So 23 pips is in this movement. 23 pips in AUD CAD. All right, well, there we go. Let's see the size of the movement, 1385 to 1407. So 22 pips, right? So 23 pips in AUD CAD, 22 pips in Euro Dollar. But now let's take a look at USD CAD, if it's available. USD CAD. There we go. It's actually got a 50% payout. But there it is. So USD CAD. 23 pips here, 22 pips here. USD CAD, let's take a look. So the highest point is 1302. The lowest point is third. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, 3702, 3683. So 17 plus 2, so 19. Right? So there we go. In USD CAD, it's 19 pips because both of the news were, well, actually, both of the news are kind of mixed. But if there was like a very distinct advantage in one, very distinct advantage in the other, we might have seen this a little bit to a greater extent. So separately, Canada produced an AUD CAD produced 23 pip movement. Dollar separate from CAD produced 22 pip movement. Together they they made 19 pip movement. So as I mentioned, it is something that's subject to or maybe it's subjective actually, right? Subject to your own opinion. But it is like seesaw. There is a primary currency, there is a secondary currency. We do need to consider the size of the economy that you're comparing to another economy, right? Well, remember that British pound, it's considered the most volatile of all currencies, can change directions very quickly, drastically, versus JPY, which is actually so gentle in falling or in rising that it's considered a safe haven asset. All right, so something that we need to keep in mind. Again, my dear friends, chats are open. Please, please don't let this be a monologue. I want to answer your questions. Ask me anything about trading, about money management. Hell, you can ask me about my breakfast today. I'm your guy. I just want to start talking to somebody, and not just for you guys just to hear my thoughts and ideas, even though I think that they're very important enough to share with you. But nevertheless, chats are open. Chats are open here live, or please leave a comment about the topic at hand, or go into Telegram and talk to me directly, just one-on-one. Right, something that we're going to be expanding on right now. Me and my team are looking to make, to offer certain other advantages throughout that as well. So now, I don't know. I think that I kind of want to go and trade a little bit more aggressive with you guys because it's more exciting. But I think that this usually is a great idea to do in the tournaments. Actually, let's go to maybe there we go. The day off tournament. We got, oh no, okay, give it a little second, it's going to load up. Alright, so wait a second, while my internet is not ideal all the time, but let's take a look while we are taking a peek here. Let's take a look at next week. Next week, because this week it's Friday, it's the first of every month. Usually, that means that we're going to get the NFP. Now, the other usually that we get, it's the CPI, which is usually on Wednesday. There it is, Wednesday, same time. There's going to be CPI is usually a more popular, or actually second most popular statistic of the month. It's usually a little bit less than the NFP, right? It usually presents you with a bit less spike. So if this was, usually NFP creates like 40, 50, 60 pip movement, but because it was a little bit confusing, that's why there was a bit of a spike, but then a massive retracement. So I guess it was there, right, the 40 pips, but it was during the retracement instead of during the spike, which is, usually that's the case. Well, we have, said that the second most popular statistic of the month is usually the CPI, and it comes out usually again the Wednesday after the NFP, though because of some holidays it could be carried over to the third week. But CPI, definitely we're going to be talking to you about this here. Usually if the NFP gives you like a 40 pip movement, we could expect like 25, 30 pip movement here. But because the NFP this time gave like a, paltry, very meek movement, maybe we're going to be expecting something actually even bigger than the NFP, 25, 30 pips. It's possible with the CPI. A spike followed by a retracement. And here's the question. Here's the question for all of you, my dear friends who are watching, or somebody who will be watching after. If you could get 95% success rate, but you would have to open only, I don't know, 10 positions per month, would that be satisfactory? You see, that's very, very cool, kind of question because, then that means that martingale would have to be like triggered only like once, right? A spike and a retracement. I can go with you throughout this, but this is actually something that I am intending of doing throughout the month of June, is to hit every single fundamental analysis, right? We have, CPIs, but CPIs not just for one country, right? So there are going to be British CPI, Canadian CPI, Australian CPI. Maybe I'm going to skip that because it would have to mean that I have to get up wicked early. But nevertheless, these events, they're not tied just to one country. So throughout the month, we could have like 20 reasonable, well, actually, I don't know, reasonable pushes, right, or reasonable reasons, reasonable reasons, to go and to open for a retracement, because we understand what is retracement, somebody cashing out. And why wouldn't you, right? You made 2, 3, 4, 5, 600%, dollars. You cash out, you get that money out. So that's why there's gonna be a retracement. There's a logical reason for that. And the Forex calendar can give you a full understanding of what country will release a statistic that's impactful enough to be noticed, right, with a big impulse, with a spike, that's usually followed by a retracement because people are just cashing out their profit. I think that yesterday I talked about it, but I don't think that I've shown you a very important thing. There is such a report that's called consumer confidence. Let's see if we can spot it. When is it released? Core retail sales, consumer confidence, because it's actually marked as a high impact event. And you know what? Let's make a filter. Let's create just for the United States. Where's the USD? There we go. Let's take away these guys. So we'll be able to. There we go. It is a high. But you know what? Wait a second. Let's create this. There we go. Apply filter. All right. So consumer confidence. Powell. All right. So this Monday, Jerome Powell, he's a federal chairman of the Central Bank of the United States. We talked about this yesterday. We just hit up non-farm. Core PPI. Okay, maybe we should kind of take a look at this as well. So we're going to take a look at CPI. We're going to take a look at PPI. Let's see. Do you guys see consumer confidence? Okay, you know what? They finally lowered the rating of importance of this. It was actually it was actually red for a long time here on Forex Factory. And the reason why I was mentioning is I was like, man, you guys got to understand that it's a survey, it's an opinion of 3,000 households. Let's just, how many people live in a household in America? Probably two. Maybe if there's kids, right? So there's mom, dad, and kid. Maybe a brother if the big house. Maybe a, mother or mother-in-law, right? So if we understand that 3,000 we multiply by, all right, 4, right? Well, let's maybe even make 5. 5 people per households of different income, right? What this means is that it's an opinion of about 15,000 people out of the population of 380 million, right? So it's very, very small kind of thing. Yes, it's important if everybody out of these 15,000 say, hey, I am super comfortable in my next paycheck. I'm going to be spending money. I'm going to be buying new patio furniture, going on trips, buying a new car, maybe update my gadgets, right? Create a party backyard, which is actually I'm doing right now. you're spending money, right? You're stimulating the economy. So technically, if this is something that rating is very high, because they kind of go through the statistics, they, I don't know, multiple choice question or something, but they gather this, and what if not everybody answers this survey? It's not like it's, I don't know, dictated by law. Yeah, you get like a piece of paper in the mail, you're like, I don't care, and you throw it out. So how accurate is this statistic? Even though it's marked as a medium impact, yes, it's important for consumers to feel confident in their financial situation so that they can spend money. But this event will not move the market, even when it was marked as a high impact event, because yes, it's important. But because it's such a small survey, and I don't even know how many people would be really inclined to. Maybe they have a motivation. Actually, I've never had that brought to my house when I lived in New York. Uh, so I don't know how they pick these people. So, anyways, be aware that not every single one of these events, even from the biggest economy in the world, like United States, will move the market to the point where um, you noticed it, right? So when we have, there we go, euro dollar OTC. Uh, Wait a second. Euro USD. Wait. Euro dollar USD. There we go. Euro dollar OTC. I like it. All right. So yeah, we noticed this because it's a high impact event, and people care about this. I would say that consumer confidence might give you like something tiny, maybe, even if the statistic has to be actually quite impactful, right? Big difference from the one before for this to actually be noticeable. So yeah, this is what I encourage everybody to do. Pick the countries that Australia. Man, I'm not gonna pick that because you know what? I'm not gonna wake up that early. But Canadian, Swiss, right? Maybe Euro, GBP. New Zealand also even earlier, but then when you apply filters, you understand, hey, there's my schedule, right? So today is 6, all right? So next week, right, we got ECB President Lagarde. She could move the market for hours, if not days, depending on what she says. You want to know what she says? Go to YouTube, or you can go to European Central Bank. Maybe you're going to see her speech live, right? But this one is marked as medium impact. Highly unlikely that she's going to talk about interest rates, though she might, right? Climate change, climate count change, right? So you go here, you kind of understand, okay, why do traders care? Although it's generally viewed as a lagging indicator of economic health, right? Number of unemployed people is an important signal of overall economic health because consumer spending is highly correlated with labor market conditions. Right, so climate count change. So this basically means unemployment is also a major consideration of those steering the country's monetary policy. So if actual is less than forecast, it's good for the currency. So this kind of means, kind of hints at unemployment. Climate, just different name for unemployment statistic. Climate count change. So that's why you want to, like, what the hell is this? Read a little bit about it, right? Average earnings index, 3-month in comparison, I think, to yearly statistics or like yearly statistics for GBP. So GBP could create on Tuesday relatively decent. This is actually on a Saturday. All right, so very rare does this happen because markets are usually closed, so you're not going to see. If she talks about something staggeringly good on Saturday, on Monday, Euro is going to open with a gap, right? It's called slippage. All right, so Tuesday at 9 a.m. GMT plus 3 time, we got, possibility for the GBP to create a relatively decent movement because, once again, this climate count change is a employment statistic or unemployment statistic. All right, so there we go. Core CPI Wednesday, definitely you guys and you and me are going to be at it right here live. We're going to take advantage of a spike followed by a retracement, though I'm not really certain if I want to do the pending trades with this statistic. Right, Thursday we got GDP from the GBP. I don't know. This, with regards to GDP refers to how much is there. There's an export or an import. What does Britain export and import? All right, so this is something that, this kind of rhetorical question. I'm not in the central bank there. I'm not really following that closely to this, but this is usually kind of gives you an idea of how healthy the economy is. If there's more exports than imports, you kind of have this, good environment, right? So, but Britain, they produce what? Rolls-Royces, the jet engines, but they're I don't know, their milking cow, I guess if we could call it that way, their go-to money source is their banks, right? The SWIFT system, when big money transfers, between countries, they usually go through British banks where they keep the commission. All right, so could take a look at that. If you see like a 30, 40 pip movement, yeah, hell yeah, take advantage of it. Get on the retracement. But I doubt it. PPI, this is a little bit more. United States, biggest economy in the world, and we got, producer price index. So the index of how producers mark their prices. So it's kind of like kind of like CPI, where regards to how consumers affect the price index. But in this case, producers, right? How they base it on demand. So if you're asking for, the demand is very low, they're not going to raise prices. They're going to lower prices to make it more, competitive. So we're going to maybe take a look at that. And preliminary consumer sentiment. And inflation expectations. I don't know. I don't find that this is something that's going to be stimulating the market, but nevertheless, next week hang out. We'll kind of keep a close eye on this and find out if maybe we want to touch base on this as well. All right, so right now we got our tournament going. Once again, I'm kind of hoping that some of you guys that are watching this will ask me anything, hopefully pertaining on the subject, or at least something that I can answer. And well, let's kind of use the culmination of some of the things that you and I did over the past couple of weeks. All right, with regards to support and resistance, I don't know. I like my parabolic SAR. I don't know. I like SHAF and I like CCI. I like fractal, so it's already 4 indicators, right? 4 indicators that are available. We got 2 lagging, we got 2 leading indicators. I don't know. Does anybody want to see, me add a particular, a different indicator? I don't know. Fractal chaos bands. Also, it's kind of easy when it closes outside. Usually, it means that it has enough momentum to continue for another candle or two. But if we're going to be opening positions every single minute, right? Just like we did a couple of was it last week or this week? You see, I don't even remember. I mean, we talk about so many interesting things, but I think it was this week, right? We've gotten 40%, right? So we turned 100 into $140 in matter of like an hour, right? Like a little less than an hour or something like that. So I think that we're going to continue with this. So right now, we do have a downward trend, and we have a possible 2-point contact here, right? But at this point, it started to go down a little bit more. Let's move that here. A little bit more aggressively, right? So I would say that maybe from here, I would have opened, I've kind of would have created something like this, right? So we got a 1, we got a 2, we got a 3-point contact, we even got a 4th, kind of, but now it broke through. So yeah, hell yeah, I'm actually thinking that I'm going to take advantage of the next 1610, right? Let's go for no, not $10. $10 is too aggressive, but let's go till the end of the candle. And I want to see the timer and auto scroll and grid snap. Let's do all that. There we go. So then we go to $1.50 because we got the multiplier of in the following minute, of course. To 1, there we go. All right. So we lost $1, but we are creating another position. Well, why is $1 still available, huh? Did I just do that thing where? Yes, I think I did that thing where I goofed up a little bit. All right, so let me open the chart that tells me what is the at $1 as the initial, because it's 1% of the. So the next one is going to be 375. leaving the time because this is actually the following minute. I went 1 minute ahead. Alright, so we usually want to open as quickly as possible when the position ends, right? So 1 second before, I would actually say that even like 1 second before this, the closure of the candle, we want to open for open a position. There it is, right? So we're still following. Right now we got a upward signal, right? A buy signal from shaft right here. We have a parabolic that says that it should be going upwards as well. So, I do believe that it's going to go up. We have 6 steps martingale to be able to get at least one successful trade with a multiplier of 1.5. So that means the next position is 938. So, very aggressive. But as soon as we hit a in-the-money trade, we should be, we go back to the first step, and every time our balance grows by $10, we increase the first step martingale by 10 cents. All right, so, all right, it looks like we could win both of these positions, so we're going to win both of these positions, unless it spikes down very quickly. All right, there we go, so 150. And we buy, and yeah, this time I definitely have to switch. There we go. See, I entered a little bit late. So, this is maybe one of the things that, yeah, we do need to keep in mind. That while you're switching the amount, maybe you want to wait, skip the following minute to be able to enter at a more ideal point. So right now, another thing that we need to kind of be aware that right now a long downward trend is facing a very aggressive upward movement. So we have a 1, we have a 2, we could have a possible third point contact right now. So we switch to the next minute. There we go. Now, if I would like this to actually bounce back, but we're following the indicator like parabolic. There's another indicator that I like. It's called super trend. There we go. We open for an upward movement still. Let's actually put super trend. Where is it? Super trend. There it is. So it says buy. So while it's, says sell, you kind of keep selling. While it says buy, you keep buying. But support and resistance levels, there we go. I am expecting that this could actually retrace for the next 2 minutes and will still be a buy signal. Right? Next one, it's, oh wait, why did I open for $1.50? Shoot. All right, so I think it should have been for $1 because our balance is not even $1.10. So if I open for one second, I need to fix this. $1.50. Next one has to be $2.25. Right, $2.25. We're still going upwards. If it doesn't close in the money, yeah, I'm going to open for $2.25, but our initial position should have been $1, $1, right? Right now we're still opening for an upward movement. I didn't switch the time, damn it. And this is actually something that's important when you're got candles like this, right? So if you opened here, right, it opened here, but the candle, but the position opened here. Technically, you would have been in the money if you would have opened at the beginning of the candle and it closed closed lower, but not something that is always possible, right? Because we don't know if there's going to be that short like a burst of volatility that will close the position. So you need to adjust your numbers and open the next position slightly at a later time or at a different position. So you can wait till the next minute. But this is so right now we got super trend, we got parabolic, we got CCI all saying that it's going to go upwards. And I'm blabbering. I can't breathe and talk at the same time, my wife says. All right, so we've opened, oh man, for $1.50. All right, I screwed up again. I don't know. I'm so excited to talk to anybody, really, or to share my experience, because I'm not talking to anybody yet. I mean, I know Donald and Henry are watching me. They're probably going to have a lot to say on Telegram channel after, where they talk one-on-one with me. But Anyway, so we're looking at growth, all right? So there's more green candles than red. We're looking at when super trend kind of comes across here, right? We have a buy, 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 but here we actually have a sell. So this is why I do enjoy trading with parabolic. All right, so we go back to $1. Let's see if we can, I don't know, as I mentioned, I'm here just kind of hoping that I'm going to get a chance to answer somebody's question and change your life for the better. Again, I didn't do that. All right, let's continue with the super trend and the parabolic. We still got CCI is rounding out, though. All right, so CCI is rounding out, and I do believe that, look, it took quite a while for the asset to go from here to here, right? So here it was, one moment, let me tell you. So here it was, right, 1533, and it went down 1533, right? So we're talking about like half an hour it went down. Now we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 minutes to make like 80% of that trip back. So actually, I would say that this is going to be a point where there's going to be a bit of resistance, or maybe even now. All right, so next position is $1.50. No, $1.50. There we go, 5, 4. Well, there we go. Okay, we're going back to $1. Next minute, and we're continuing to go upwards. Up and away. All right, anybody chatting to me yet? Nobody's here. Come on, people. Give me some of your questions. If you had a chance, there's like a rhetorical question, or maybe the question I'm actually very curious. If you had an opportunity to make money for like, there we go, you sit for an hour, you've made your daily budget. All right. So where would you choose to trade from? All right. Is it going to be like on your balcony in your, I don't know, particular villa somewhere? Or is it, maybe something more remote? If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? Give me some ideas. Actually, me and my wife we do consider ourselves a citizen of the world. And, oh, I lost this one. See, there we go. The short-term volatility, and I, again, didn't change the damn time. Short-term volatility, I think this one was like really close, wasn't it? What did I lose? There we go. Yeah, it kind of went up and just right at the last second. So the quote difference open 15.14, closing was 15.14 2. Closing was 15.14 1. So it was actually minus one, not even 1 point. It was minus 1 pipette. All right, but it's okay because, and yeah, I should have opened for a bigger position, but I honestly thought I was going to be winning. So in this case, if I lose this, I actually lost $2. So if my first starting point is $2, that means the next one is 3. So we're going for $3. And right now, well, we could be looking at shaft rounding out. All right, let's take a, I don't know, so we could take a sell position based on fractal that was created, but I did a really goofy thing. I kind of jumped the gun. You see, if it goes down, the next point of interest will be this support level. So it could very well be that afterwards, right, so we actually have to go to 750 as the next position, and that could already be a bit risky. So it says that it's going to be going down. It was an earlier signal. I do believe that Fractal does this, quite well, but not consistently. So it looks like we're going to lose this position, and I don't know. I think I'm going to want to go with a super trend and the parabolic still and say that it's going to go upwards. But we'll see. All right, so there we go. We're still following the signal. See, this one was like super. If I opened the buy position, this one would have been like, I don't know, look at the volatility on this one. It was so small. Next position is 1875. And you know what? Maybe today, if we don't win it on the next or the next, which makes my kind of, I don't know, not really comfortable zone, because I do usually like to win in the first three. There we go. So there we go. So I should have followed the signals, right? So Fractal said that it's going to go down. I kind of believed this because it was reaching this particular level right here. And that's why I thought that there could be a bit of a retracement. So see, we're actually hitting this point. There, you know what? I'm going to wait. So we won, right? So we won our position. And yeah, oh, Henry, you're from Serbia. Well, I know that now. Everybody else knows that. And Donald's from France. Way to go, buddy. Actually, you know what? I love French accent. It's something that I find very romantic. But you know what? I was born in the former Soviet Union, and I lived in Romania for a while, so I actually think that Romanian language or Moldovan is also quite romantic. It's quite beautiful. I don't know, but not a lot of traders. I actually, through all of my time, I never met a trader from either of those countries, from Romania or from Moldova. All right, 1 second. Let's see. So there we go. On this goofing up. Third point contact. But here's the interesting thing when we're talking about this. We have 1, 2, 3, kind of 4. On the fifth time it broke through. That's why this is no longer valid. But we do have something happening here. So we got a 1, we got a 2, we got a possible third point contact, but we also got 1, 2, and a third point contact, which in my opinion, once again, implies that there might be a very decent breakout. Alright, so let's kind of stick around here and see what's going on, but I actually do believe that if it actually goes through right now, if this is going to be, we have a 1, 2, and on the third one it broke out, which is no longer, it doesn't, means that that's it. You need to, this is no longer a valid level. But what we are also seeing a possible situation, that when there is a breakout of support or resistance level, that it could go as far, quite further actually. All right, so what do we got here? Based on technical analysis, so we still are in the super trend, but man, we're cooking with we're like super rocketing upwards. It took half an hour to go from here, but it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 minutes to exceed that. So I don't believe that this growth is going to be something that's going to continue for a long time. That's why I'm going to be very cautious about opening a buy position for the following minute. All right, so there we go. All right, so we did open. I think we won that one, so I opened it for $1.50. So I'm going to adjust my chart, which means that the next position is going to be for. Wait, what happened? I think I'm goofing up with the time again. Oh, there we go. Yeah, 08. Man, that was not good, I guess. All right, so wait a second. Now we're back to $1. Actually, no, wait a second. $1.10, right? Because we did make our quota. So let me again adjust the chart. $1.10. My martingale. So next one is $1.65. And as I mentioned, I'm still generally more preferring the parabolic, but essentially when you see a super trend, kind of telling you that, especially when it goes up, so when it starts to go sideways, you start to understand that maybe, it's petering out, right? But right now we have a very long one, but look, it's starting to go sideways. There was a bit of a retracement even from this point to this point. It was a downward movement. Now look, we got 1, 2, 3, a fourth point contact coming up, and wait, what the hell did I didn't do anything. I didn't open a position for a buy, but right now actually maybe that was a good thing as well. I lost the previous one. Yes, I did. Okay. All right, so It's coming back to the parabolic, which kind of gives me an idea that it could it could, actually break through. 1, 2, 3. If on the fourth one in the next 16 seconds it breaks through and closes, below this line, chances are that parabolic is going to switch to the top and we're going to be in the negative trend. CCI is pointing downward. Shaft, though, is still hanging out, hanging up here. So I would say there it is. Yeah, so there we go. I did not switch quick enough. Damn it. All right, so yeah, no, I'm actually very comfortable with this, even with this situation, because it is higher likelihood, in my opinion, that it is going to go down, though it could be what we call a false breakout. Right, so if this candle, right, it closed outside of this line of support line, 1, 2, 3, it closed outside of the line, parabolics on top, fractals on top, CCI is kind of pointing down as well, but if it closes, if our traders are buying the crap out of euro dollar right now, and it closes above this line, then I would probably wait for the following candle, because it could have been a false breakout. And see, if I was actually on point and opened it up at the opening of the candle, it could have been something different. Wait, did I switch? All right, let's do that. Let's do that. There we go. I'm still going down. I still believe in this. I still believe, I have very relaxed demeanor right now. Even if this one closes out of money, which actually I don't think it will, but even if this one closes out of money, I'm going to still open the sell position. Look, we got shaft rounding out, we got both lagging indicators, and we got a breakout strategy in effect. So I still believe that it's going to be going downward. If it's going to go downward, it's got potential to go down as low as this, right, to this point right here. But that's something that usually Forex traders usually calculate. All right. So, we have kind of like a nice kind of, right, reversals. Maybe we're going to have a double top pattern here. All right. So 4, 3, 2, 1, sell. And again, I screwed this up, a little bitch. All right. So, when I'm not talking, really, I think that this is something that I don't want to do. I don't want to be just like silent on the screen. When somebody, manages to look at, the stream live, that's why I keep talking, but I usually kind of do distract myself from my action. So let's actually switch to the next minute, and we go to $1.65. All right, there we go. And we're waiting. So right now, we could also say that there's a possible downward trend starting. Right, so I'm still preferring to prioritize parabolic SAR. In this case, I also am going to do it with the fractal. 2, 1, open, there we go. But now, see, now we have a conflicting signal between fractal, parabolic, and supertrend. Supertrend is still going sideways, so at any point there, it could switch over to the top. I still believe, there we go, shaft says sell. I'm going to trust the shaft and parabolic, and we're going to continue to sell. Let's choose the next minute ahead of time. So this is, I guess, the one thing that you guys have to get used to doing ahead of time, right? So there we go. And I don't think that super trend is going to switch over very soon to the top as well, and we're going to see a downward movement. And as I mentioned, a double top over here is a possibility, which is also another signal for for certain consequences. Double top can transfer into a triple top, but also it could break through the neckline and continue significantly. There we go, selling. Oh, wait, what the heck? Wait a second, we just, oh no, we opened, see, there was actually opening with a gap. So some people were buying the crap out of euro dollar, even though it should be going our way downward. All right, so we still got a 2-point contact. This is adjustable right now because, it's not in the, we didn't have a 2-point contact yet, so established. So we got 1, maybe at this point it's going to be 2. Did I switch? I don't think I switched. Yeah, there we go. All right, 19 seconds for $1.65. What is our balance? Actually, it should be 110. Wait, why isn't it 110? Something I need to take a look at. I think somewhere I goofed up again. 2, 1. There we go. We're opening for a sell. Next position from 165, we go to 413. There we go. And we're still in a downward trend, even if this is going to go higher a little bit. CCI is somewhere in the middle. It kind of means that there's not really a lot of, right, we can take an ODX. We see also here that it's about 24, but usually the trend is considered when it rises above 20, right? But it kind of doesn't really tell us anything at the moment, anything interesting. We are able to take a look at ATR and see that, man, volatility is low, so the candle isn't going to be something massive. We are still waiting, right? 413. Oh god, did I switch the time? Alright, so next one is 10. Alright, so I don't want to go for 2 minutes. Alright, so there we go. Did I? No, I didn't. Yeah, alright. So there we go. We're still selling. I should have made money here, though I kind of did maybe something goofy because a 2, right? So this should have been a winning trade, or I'm sorry, made money here, but I think I closed it at a goofy, moment. Oh, I did make money here. So why the hell did I open it for $1 for 413, right? Oh man. All right, so I guess I'm goofing up more than usually. See, there was the 413. 1 second, I need to enter this as a. So next one is 620. Damn. All right, so it was the case where a goofy thing. So I've lost here, I've won here. Right. So I won, I lost, I won. So my 413 is a losing trade, and I'm still. Wait, come on. I should be going still lower. I should have opened. This is where right now we're threatening our tournament balance with my goofiness. So next position 620. Next one is 1549. I guess I didn't notice the winning trade. That's why I went for a third step martingale, which was 413. This says sell, and I lost it. So because of my frustration, I entered much later than I should have for a 620. So the next position is going to be 1549, and I'm kind of hoping that it's not something that I'm going to need. If it spikes down, there we go. It won by the skin of the teeth. I'm very grateful for that because we get to continue our trading. Negative as it is. Right, there we go. And the next time, the next 1.65. So I think I've done that quite a few times because we've been trading for quite a while now, right? From about, when do we start? When super trend changed, somewhere around here, right? From 16, maybe a little bit earlier, right? There we go. Half an hour probably I chatted about the NFP. And yes, we've been trading for like 30 minutes, but we're only $10 in the money. And that's not usually something that is the case. So I think I goofed up more than usual. There we go, in the money. But super trend is going sideways for quite a while. We see a possible. We had a 2-point contact. There we go, 1, 2. So we should see it go down a little bit further before testing this period once more, right? We did discuss the support and resistance periods for over the past couple of weeks for a while. All right, and so anyways, take a look at previous videos. I think that you guys are going to enjoy this. So, $1.10. $1.10. It looks like we're still going to be winning. Next position. I think I changed the next one, right? Yeah, I did. Alright, and should still be dominant, right? CCI is approaching the negative 100, but super trend could actually be switching over right now as well. So we're going to ride this train for... no, I didn't switch it, damn it. Alright, let's switch it now. And I still think that, yeah, I think that this is going to go down for a bit longer. The next level of interest would be, well, probably if we're looking at the previous ones, we could be seeing a one right now, somewhere here, right? Because here it was sawing this, here it was sawing this, so it does need to have enough momentum to break through and continue to go downward still. But if that's going to be the case, next one is going to be somewhere here, right? Next, right there, it was a resistance. Here it was a support. So we'll be able to see. So slowly, there might be a few bounce backs. But right now, yeah, we're still expecting it to go down further. So I still think that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yep, now continuing. We're in the money. There we go. It is bouncing back. That to touch the third level, right? We could see a third level touch, but we also could see a breakout. There we go. All right, so 1.65. We're continuing with our plan, changing the time so that I don't goof up later. And let's see what it does. You see, it could break out and close under, right? So it still means that there, kind of if it closes right here and continues to go down, it's something that's ideal for us, because then we're going to have an established level of resistance, right? 1, 2, and on this one is going to be 3. The fact that 1, 2, 3 on this one it broke and it went sideways, but we still understand that it's going to be a downward trend. This is no longer something that interests us. We're going to kind of set this off to the side until we see the market do something different. Maybe we can have a second point contact here. All right, so 6.25. All right, what are we doing? We're still selling. Yeah, we're still selling for now. There it is. So we got 1, we got 2, we got third point contact right now, right here. So it still could go, go upwards, and at that point it would screw up the possibility of this being a level of resistance. All right, so if right now it goes any higher, it will it will force the shaft to round out, it will force the parabolic to go under, and at that point we're going to see a possible upward movement, right, upward trend even. But for now, we're still bearish dominant, right? So we're still bearish dominant. So there we go, 1.65. We're going to win this one, and we're going back to the first step. I don't think I switched it, did I? There we go, 1, and there we go. So we're in the money there, and we're continuing. So we got 1, we got 2, and at this point, we could actually see a touch. But see, this is where, honestly, I think that I would have waited. I'm going to wait, because what's happening here is a particular situation, a pinching factor between a downward movement and a sharper downward movement, which, could have possible consequences. But it's very, very close. Look, it's in the middle of this channel, right? Very little to go up, very little to go down. So 1, 2, if this touches any lower, it could be the third point contact, and I think at that point I would prefer to wait a little bit. So while I'm waiting, all right, wait a second, this could actually be a negative, right? So 0.65 for the next one if this one loses. Yeah, so super trend is on top, kind of selling sell. I kind of think that, yeah, it should be a sell as well. So, maybe we can continue, but I'm still, kind of cautious about this. At this point, it should bounce up, and at that point, we will have 3-point contact. Well, unless we adjust it like this, and so we're having this kind of like a channel that that would tell us, give us some clue as to what the asset is higher inclined to do. Switching to the one after, and I do believe that this one's going to be in the money as well. So let's wait, and while I'm waiting, let's, maybe questions, comments, concerns from anybody present. We've been trading for approximately an hour and 10 minutes, right? We started actually longer, hour 20 minutes. We hit up the NFP today. We made some good money there. And I don't know, did I make money on this one? Yes, I did. All right, so you see, since I'm like already 15 seconds late, I think I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for the next minute. And it looks, if it does break out now, if it closes on top here, it does have a higher probability that it's going to continue to go upwards. All right, so if it closes in 29, there we go. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I'm gonna take it a little bit early, right? I'm gonna take it, but I actually think that this is possibly going to be a reversal of a trend. Even though super trend says it's still going down, I still prefer parabolic. Parabolic CCI is pointing upwards. I think that shaft is going to do the same in a little bit. So next minute, 1.65. You see, once again, we don't need ideal statistic to make money. Oh yeah, wait a second, I goofed. Alright, wait a second, if we bring it back, there we go, I goofed. Alright, so in this case, 42, there we go, it should be in the money, so let's go back to 1.1. And yeah, CCI is going up. SHAF is still kind of here, but it's got, if this candle closes, in green, it's going to start to round out. So Fractal came up on this candle, said that the next one's going to be green. I believe it. Alright, I believe it. There we go. I believe I can fly. Woohoo! Alright, and by the way, we could say that there's this. So there was a breakout strategy between 1, 2, third point contact on the fourth when it broke through. We're continuing to go upwards. There we go. I still think it's going to go up. But once again, look how long it took for it to lower from this point, right? We could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. In 2 minutes, it came back up to that level, so it's quite natural that we're going to see a bit of a retracement. So this one has a higher likelihood of closing out of money. But we're still believing that the trend is going to go up. And, I don't know. We're going to close our chat very soon, so I might as well start trading a little bit more aggressively, right? So if we start with 110, next one is 165, next one is 413, right? So 413, let's go a bit more aggressive for the following move. 2, 1, closing, opening a higher. There we go. So now we have conflicting signals again. We got a fractal saying down, we got super trend saying down, we got parabolic saying up, and we have shaft saying up. I still believe it should be going upwards. And so we're going to, this is still valid right here. So at some point we might be able to bring in another resistance level, right? It could be like this. But I still believe that it's going to be going upwards, so that's why we're going to go to the next 413. We're going to go to 1031. And see, at this point, I'm just following maybe some of my, a little bit about intuition, some of my experience, but I'm still following signals that I have good statistics with. Right, so in 10 seconds, we'll see, am I going up or down? So did it, I don't know if I switched, let's go switch. And it looks like I am going to make money. So back to, I don't know, you know what, let's go to $2. Let's be a little bit more aggressive. And let me adjust my my chart here. So the next one, if this is 2, this one is going to be 3. You see, when we do this now, though, the 6th step is going to be $190. So there's no way in hell that I've just... cut down my chances by, significantly, actually by about like 15-20%, of winning the following trade because I'm doing much more aggressive trading than I should. So this is something that's going to be very, very applicable to your real account trading. Do you want to trade so aggressively that you have only 5 steps martingale? Maybe you should trade a little bit less and get more chances, right? So when we're looking at $100, 5 chances, that's like it's very uncomfortable, right? So you feel like 20%, right? 20%, 20%. When you take 100 and you say that that's it, you got 5 chances to put that in the money. So right now, but because this is a tournament, next position, right, is we usually traded what? $1, 150, and 375. And now we went from 2 to 3 to 750. This very aggressive. Yeah, the profitability will go up much faster, but the chances that you're going to have 5 negative trades in a row are, higher than, or rather that you're going to wipe out your balance in 5 trades is higher than if you do it in 6. All right, so there we go. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll go back to 2. And next position. All right, wait, did I open? No, I didn't. All right, there we go. I forgot to do this again. All right, let's let's go up anyway. All right, next one is $3, right? So it's up to you how aggressive you want to be. That's actually what people, ask me. Can you, show me how to, bring up my balance? Yes, I can, but the factor of time is something that's very important as well. Yeah, I can show you how to turn $100 into, 10,000. We can actually do it just like me and Henry. Actually, that's one of the things. He's starting with a smaller balance, and he's taking he's taking his time with trading, and so it might take him longer than Donald. Donald's trading with a little bigger balance, and so for him, you could go because of bigger balance. You actually have a bigger safety net, and all right, let's continue to go upwards here. All right, so next one is 750. Because our stream is coming to an end, I mean, I really hope for more participation from you guys in the following streams next week. It's going to be very exciting. There we go. So we got 1, 2. We maybe could stretch this truth into being, kind of understood that this is a third point bounce back. But we got 1, 2. So in the next 3, 4 minutes, we actually could fit in the 370. So next one is 1875. This more aggressive approach, and we could see that this was going to bounce away in the same minute. Let me actually take that chance. Because if we're going to lose, we're going to end the stream anyway because this works, but this is something that's going to require you to sit in front of a computer for quite a little bit longer, maybe a couple of hours to win a daily tournament. And this is something that you have an opportunity to trade every single day. Did we win? What was it? $3, but I won 18. Yeah, there we go. So right now, yeah, it looks like it's going to go down to a negative trend. So let's go to $2 and the following minute, and I still think it's going to be going. Wait a second. So 1, 2, third point contact. So it could go up a little bit. And afterwards, it does look like it's going to be going down a bit more based on what we see from our other indicators. So CCI is approaching, SHAF has rounded out. So yeah, I do believe it's going to be going down. So you know what? I'm going to go for even more aggressive. I'm actually going to go for 750 because I do believe it's going to go down further still. All right, so expiration not available. There we go. Next one. Let's go more aggressive. Let's see how long we can stretch this. All right. So if I take the first position as 5, that means that I got only 4 steps. Actually, no. Let's go with the multiplier a little bit higher. So 4 steps of martingale. So it goes 5, 10, 30, and max. So let's go 5. Okay. So we got 750. 750. Alright, am I going to lose this one? Let's see, 750. Well, alright, irrelevant. If I lose this one, we're still going to go aggressive enough with... So 1, let's go 7, let's go $15 for a sell. On the following minute again, I'm keep goofing off here, 15. Alright, so if it's 15, that means the next one is 2250. 2250. Yeah, because I still believe it should be going downward. We still have this as a valid level, and if it's going to go downward, it's got the opportunity to go still to here. Alright, so if that's not the case, right, we're going to go with $5 as the first, right? What did I say? 5, 750, or no, 10, right? Let's go 10, even more aggressive. 10, 15, 37 max. So there we go. 15 is going to close in the money. 10. The following minute, I screwed it up, right? I'm in the money. Still thinking it's going to go down, though we're able to see we got 1, 2, on a third one it broke through. So this is not something that we're going to be calculating. We got 1, 2, and well, we still got this resistance level. So I still think this being $10 position, next one is 15. I would say that it's going to go down lower. Once again, a little bit of intuition, taking a bit of chances because, well, we're not really chatting to too many people right now, and I've done quite a lot of winning trades to show you that yes, it works. Yes, you're able to make money. So we go back to $10 and oh, wait a second, I lost everything, right? So 10, yeah, wait a second, 10, 50, 37, right? 37, 50. Still sell. Sell. I still think it's going to go down. And I guess this one is where we're going to go max, right? So next one is max at 72 bucks. If this is not going to go in, next one is it might. See, we actually could see. So we had 4 sell signals, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 based on parabolic SARs, but it does look like it could go upwards still, right? So we got a resistance here. We got 1, 2. We could have stretched this into a 4 if we kind of understood that here it went down, went up, went down, went up. Not an ideal situation, but I don't know. Right now it's a kind of goofy situation. So in 7 seconds, if this doesn't close higher, we lost the entire balance, but it looks like it is, in the money. We're back in business. All right, we're still trading and we're still going for the next minute. Let's go until we lose, right? Let's go until we lose. All right, next one is 15. Remember that this particular kind of fast growth is not something that can last forever. We still have, all right, so this is no longer valid, all right, so we can take that off. Let's change it to the next minute, right, like I usually forget to do. $15 is loaded up. We got Shaft saying buy, we got CCI saying buy, and honestly, I think I would actually go a little bit more aggressive even still. Alright, so next one is 15, but let's kind of stick with it. Let's stick with it. So let's stick with it. There's a lot of volatility right now. So 2-1, I'm opening for 15 for a higher. Next one is, right, for the next minute, the next amount is 37.50. So, but yeah, this was really actually kind of, not so good with regards to that. This candle, we should have been in the money by selling. But here it went 1, 2, 3, and, so on the 4th one, it switched under and finally gave you a buy signal. So this would have been like shaky if you don't follow indicators. or if, rather, if you're opening on intuition, not based on signals. So I still think it's going to go up afterwards, but yet again, super trend says down, parabolic says up, shaft says up, but it actually already is at the point where it could reverse, and CCI is pointing downwards. I don't know what to, look at that. Fractal says that it's going to be going down, though, yeah, I'm going to wait for the next one. I don't know. See, this is where individual approach comes in. For me, trading this aggressively is not comfortable. So I would much rather wait and get that, when I told you that, oh, I'm very comfortable with this position, support and resistance are touched a couple of times, right? So at that point, would have been a bit more comfortable for me specifically. But, you know what? I'm not you. If you're more comfortable taking a bigger chance and, getting yourself up there a little bit faster, that's also up to you. So we got another 10 seconds before. Did we lost two in a row, right? Yeah, we lost 10, 20. Okay, there we go. So let's continue with the signal, and I'm going to go upwards. There we go, 37.50, and essentially next one is max. Now, so we could say that there is still a bullish dominance based on this. We got a 2-point contact here. We got a 2-point contact here. It's sawing at this level for quite a time. Look, see, it was here. Actually, let's extend this line right there. There it is, right? So we had it here. We got it here. We kind of had it close and came back down. We had it here. So I still think it's going to go upwards. But, based on this, and based on this, but it's still a 2-point contact, and it's been touching this level quite a lot of times, so we would need to wait for that to break through, to be a bit more certain. There we go. So it's there we go, 137. All right, next one, what we got? 15 for the following minute. There we go. So far, no chats, so far, no comments, or no chats, no comments in the chat. But after the video is posted, you're certainly encouraged to post comments. Subscribe, please. Tell us maybe what you want to, discuss. Maybe certain different indicators interest you. I'd love to, kind of have a, live communication with you guys about this. So just be aware that I'm always going to be super, super eager to discuss this. All right, $10 looks like it could be, kind of losing this out. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're opening for a buy. There we go. And next one is 37. See, as I mentioned, I would never really do this aggressive trading. But because, as I mentioned, nobody's really active right now with me. Might as well, kind of take some chances. As soon as if I lose, or maybe we can just say, all right, enough is enough. But we essentially made, right, like even if I stop right now, we made 20%, and 20% is freaking amazing at the end of the month. 20% of your daily balance is amazing result at the end of the month. All right, so actually, I don't know who can tell me, what do you think is 20% per day of your balance with $1,000 starting balance at the end of the month? All right, so $1,000, 20%. The first day is going to be $200. And I won, but and thankfully, because of my usual nature, I did not settle for the next minute, so we got again going back to $10, and I'm still buying. All right, so just FYI, $1,000, 20%. First day it's going to be $200 of profit. Next day it's going to be $240. Next day is going to be higher still, where at the end of the month, 20% per day turns your $1,000 into almost $250,000. $1,000 to $237,377. If you trade in every single day for 30 days, you make 20% of your balance. So you open based on 1% of your total balance, and you trade it for like 3-4 steps. You don't rush, all right? And I don't know. It seems like we're doing good right now. We just made 60%. Still going to $15 for the next position. And you know what, guys? I think that this is going to be working just fine for quite a while longer. So I am going to let you guys go for now. All right, and I'm going to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I get to celebrate my daughter's birthday. And I encourage you guys to also spend some time with your family. Touch base with me next in Telegram throughout this period of time. I always go back in there. If something interests you, let's make money together. We can trade literally just like me and Donald and Henry. We trade together, one-on-one. We pick the right time. And once again, with me, with explanations, everything that involves doing this with a more stable principles. This is something that, once again, we do for you as well. So sign up, go to Telegram channel and say hello. Sign up or subscribe to the channel. It's always like a really good kind of gesture for, means that we're doing our job correctly. Leave a comment and let's get your financial independence going. Let's see you guys next week, and let's make some money together. See you all later.